No sound for me broadcast. Can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Everybody's saying no sound, no sound. Can you guys hear me? Yes or no? Yes, that's me. There she goes. Hi, how are you? Can you guys hear me? Put a 1 in the chat, please. 1 in the chat that you can hear me. Kirsten, good morning. Perfecto. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. I've been gone for a while. I am happy to be here. I appreciate you being here. It looks like there was a delay, it appears. SD, my favorite person. How you guys doing? Y'all see my shirt? Abnormal movement, you see it? The brilliant mind. Okay, good morning. Let's go through here real quickly. We only have 2 hours. You have met Valerie. She is the producer. I do call her Sunshine. So she will be coming back and forth. So let me just do quick introductions. For those of you that do not know me, I am Tye Brown, formerly the Abnormal Notary, turned Coach Tye. I became a notary in 2020, then went into loan signing during the pandemic, made a lot of money during that. Then I got into Ron. Then I found that that's not what I want to do. I don't have the patience to sit there and navigate technical things. What else? Then I became an apostille provider / coach. So I took I guess like a beginner class in the beginning, and it prompted me to be like, oh, what is this about? So I want to be able to teach people how to do this, right? So I taught myself how to build a business out of apostilles. So I have taught people, I've coached people. We have a collective over $100,000 in regards to our students that have got into this business, have followed what I've exactly told them to do, and they have been successful. So that is my core business. So I provide apostilles in the state of New Jersey, really all across the country, honestly. I was in these notary streets when they started. There has been so many coaches here that teach and all the things, but I'm a little bit abnormal in the way that I present. So I don't go against the normal grain. I go against the grain. So that's why I created the Abnormal Movement. The Abnormal Movement, honestly, how can I explain it? It's for people that are abnormal, right? Somebody will tell you, hey, the dream that you have, you can't do that. You have to do a W-2, or, hey, you can't be an apostille facilitator, or, hey, you can't be a Ron notary specialist. The Abnormal Movement is basically to say that is a lie, right? It doesn't matter what gift that you have. You just need to be in a community that gets you, that understands where you're coming from. And there's no, we remove the ambiguity and we really dive down deep into solving your problem, which is, hey, how do I market my business? Hey, how do I get people to know who I am? What type of business do I actually want, right? So this Abnormal Movement collective has been around probably about 6 or 7 months. I've been coaching people for about 6 months. I call them the inner circle. That is ending soon. And I'm actually also doing one-on-one coaching, right, for apostilles, et cetera. So that's me in a nutshell. I have gone through a lot in these notary streets. I've had a lot of things that have happened, but I will tell you, if there's no pain, there is no process. And I have gone through a lot in these notary streets. One thing I will tell you, it doesn't matter what coach you go to, just make sure you go to the coach that gives you the right information. There's a lot of coaches out here that don't do how I do, but I'm different. So that's it. All right. Sunshine. I think we're good to go. Thank you. Whoever said love your shirt. Oh, Tabitha. Hi. Let's go to apostilles first, Sunshine. While you do that, I'm gonna go through here. Kirsten, good morning. T-Sons, good morning. Chris, Camilla, Kirsten, Amanda, paralegaling notary, fearless notary, Tanya, Pamela, Tabitha, SD. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right, let's get started. Apostilles. Let's correct the spelling, Sunshine. Apostilles. Okay, let's get started. Apostilles. All right. So a lot of you signed up to receive my content that we're going to be going over today. Okay, so I'm going to show that to you. And this is how we're going to go in order. All right. Now, some of you have reached out to me already and said, hey, Tye, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Is this recording going to be recorded? It's on YouTube. So it's going to be here forever, which is why I do this. Okay. Okay. So let me know that you can see my screen. Sunshine, if you can let me know, because I can't go back to the StreamYard. Can you see my screen? Yes, I see it. Yes. Morning, Tye. Good morning, Anissa. Boo, bye. Awesome. I can see it. Awesome. Okay. So let's do it. So the people that signed up and did, went through the Luma and did the registration, all of y'all should have this document. Okay. This is the document that we're going to go over. We have 2 hours. All right. So now we're going to go into Apostilles. Now, before we go into Apostilles, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. There are a lot of people that are doing this. Okay. A lot of people that are doing this. And I will tell you, how can I put it diplomatically correct? A lot of people are doing this. And in my humble opinion, they're not doing it correctly. And the reason why I say that is because it's kind of similar to loan signing, right? People will say, hey, you can make $200 and all the things. You can make that, but that doesn't mean that's what you're going to take home. Okay. So we're going to get into that. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go over this real quickly. Sunshine, can you hear me? You have to be on screen. I can't see you, Sunshine.
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All righty. All right, let's go through it. So apostilles, okay? So a lot of people are getting to apostilles because, one, the market for real estate has kind of slowed up. I will tell you, I'm starting to get emails in regards to loan signing. So I don't know if it's picking back up. I do watch the Bloomberg channel religiously, so I'm always trying to stay up on top of what's going on in the world. So apostilles is huge. And the reason why I say apostilles is huge is because just in the state of New Jersey, back in October of 2022, we had 500,000 requests. Now to date, they have done an additional 500,000. Okay. So that's 1 million. If that's correct, is that 1 million? I think that's 1 million, right? So just in the span of 4 or 5 months, there is a need for apostille facilitators. Okay. But what I want you guys to understand is apostilles is not difficult. People misconstrue the concept because they hear the word apostille and they think it's going to be like this crazy process that you have to go through. Forgetting about if you're a notary, you're just following your standard notary laws on how to notarize a document, period, right? The apostille is simply an order form for that specific Secretary of State for you to order the apostille. The actual action in order for your Secretary of State to certify you is based upon the notary, okay? Or the vital statistics registrar or whoever is over the divorce court, marriage, etc., okay? So briefly, apostilles. What is an apostille? An apostille is basically the certification of the notary at the time of the transaction, or it is a certification of a public official, okay? And a public official is what you will find on your vital records, on your federal documents, okay? That is what an apostille is. It has nothing to do with the document whatsoever outside of it being a vital record. And I'll go over that briefly, okay? Now, one thing I'll tell you is, as a part of the Abnormal Movement, I will be going over this in more detail. I will be having monthly calls, all of the things, right? And when you get into the Abnormal Movement, you'll have access to me to call me, text me. I really don't care. Because to me, it's not about the money. It's about making sure that you guys understand what you're doing and that you don't screw somebody's life up, okay? So apostilles, explain to you what it was, the meaning of apostilles. And for some of y'all, this is probably just going to be like a refresher, but I'm going to go into some other things, okay? So apostilles, you have Hague versus non-Hague, okay? So Hague basically means back in 1961, they came up with this convention to make it to simplify the steps to obtain an apostille. Okay. Originally, when the Hague Convention was started, was due to adoptions, right? Adoptions is huge. Okay. But I don't fiddle around with adoptions because I refuse to mess up something and the ability for a parent to get their child because I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I just don't mess with it. But that's where it originated from. Then it went into documentation for the actual public. Okay. So as a part of the Hague Convention, I believe there's 91 plus something countries that are a part of the Hague Convention. Okay. And if you see my screen, I'm about to give you a juju bean. I'm kind of skipping over Sunshine, but I want people just to understand something real quick. Everybody's going to teach you to go to this website, right? To go to this website. This is hcch.net. This is where everything begins, right? To find Hague countries, members and parties, HCC members, and here in alphabetical order, all of your countries that are party to the Hague Convention, okay? If they are not on this list, and follow what I'm saying, because I'm about to throw a wrench in here, this means that that country is a part of the Hague Convention, okay? The other site that you will be given is travel.state.gov, okay? This is the other site that people will tell you to go to obtain the Hague countries. I'm not going to go into it because we don't have a lot of time, all right? The third one is Google, okay? Now, I want to show you guys something really quickly. If you remember what I said, the Hague Convention, all of the countries on this website, right? If they are listed on this list, technically that means they are part of the Hague Convention. And the only thing that you would have to do is simply go to the Secretary of State. Now, pause for a second. I'm going to give you a scenario to break this down, okay? So it could hopefully comes together. So here's the wrench into what I want to tell you. Do you see Egypt? Okay, so Egypt is a part of the Hague Convention, as you see on hcch.net. But if you go to Google and you put in, is Egypt, can I spell? What does it say? Egypt is not a signatory to the 1980 Hague Convention. Why does it 1980? Don't know. But y'all can research that, okay? So then let's go back. So then why is it here, right? So now everything that I've ever told y'all and been teaching this forever, screw hcch.net. No disregard or no disrespect to y'all. But don't look at them. Don't even look at travel.state.gov. Go here and put in the country, okay? So if we did India, India became a part of the Hague Convention, I believe, last year, I think. So there you go. Okay. So you can use this if you want, but I would say steer clear of it, because if you give a customer a price based upon what you see here, you probably just lost money. Okay. I'm going to pause there for a second. Is that making sense what I'm telling you guys? Put a 1 in the chat for me. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Is this available in closed caption? I don't know if it's available in closed caption. No clue. Okay, so y'all put in 1. So let me pause for a second. In order for me to go forward and move forward, for those that have followed me a lot, I love interaction, right? Because that allows me to make sure that you guys got it. Because if you don't got it, I'm going to stay there, okay? And then if we go over time, which we will not, I would implore you to get into the movement, okay? So awesome. So you got that. So now let's take that scenario, okay? So let's just say for Hague Conventions, all right? For Hague Conventions, and I'm going to say it again, for Hague Convention countries, the only step that you have to do is go to the Secretary of State and apostille the document, period, okay? Period. I'm going to present my screen one more time. And still, y'all, still to date, I still get nervous doing this stuff. Is there a way to get a copy of the slide? Stacy, the only way to get a copy of the slide is if you would have signed up through my Instagram and I had a Luma link for you to request for this document. So those that did that, they actually already got an email, so they can use it as their notepad to take notes. So unless you want to get into the movement. then I go crazy up in there. Okay, so for apostilles, Hague only, okay? I just gave you an example of where to find and validate if a country is a part of the Hague Convention. I have done, I think I'm now at 60 countries that I have done as far as apostilles, okay? So for Hague countries, this is the process, and it's very simple, okay? When a customer comes to you, and let's just use a power of attorney, okay? Power of attorney in the state of New Jersey, and I think almost anywhere in the country, it requires 2 witnesses, okay? Now, I could be wrong on some states, it is what it is. But in the state of New Jersey, they require 2 witnesses to be a part of the transaction, okay? So let's just say they have their witnesses, they have the power of attorney. You as the notary, yes, you can notarize the documents, okay? So if anybody says you cannot be the notary and do the transaction together, that is a lie, okay? So you can do both, okay? So you have the power of attorney, you have the witnesses, you have now fulfilled your obligation to them to complete the power of attorney, okay? So now the power of attorney has now been notarized, okay? You take that document, you go to your respective Secretary of State, okay? And the way that I do them, I just go like this. I'll put the state, New Jersey, apostille, SOS, something like that, right? Florida's a little bit different. Florida has a different unique URL. All right, so then I go on to here, and then I will proceed to place the order, okay? Now, for the state of New Jersey, I'm going to show you all my inbox real quick, and this is going to be on the World Wide Web. Let me show you guys real quick. Actually, let me stop sharing. Okay, so let me go back. Let me share again. And if I'm making y'all dizzy, I apologize, but y'all can go back to this once it's back up on YouTube. Okay. So for apostilles in the state of New Jersey, we can do ours electronically. Okay. Once we submit an apostille request, this is what's emailed to us, right? The amount, right? You can see I just did one. I'm about to do 2 more. The amount, how fast, etc. Okay. So this is what ours look like. We would print that out, and then you would attach it to said power of attorney, okay? Then you would mail it in to the Secretary of State based upon their mailing instructions, okay? Once you mail it in, how are you going to get it back, right? In order for you to ship your apostille, you have to receive it back in order to hand it to your client, okay? So depending on the turnaround time for your Secretary of State, mine, it's a 24-hour turnaround time, or you can pay a surplus of money to get it same day. That's our process, right? So once it comes back, you hand it to your client, rinse, repeat, okay? That is an apostille. It doesn't matter what state it's in, as long as the country in which the document is going to is Hague, you go to the Secretary of State, process is done, period, okay? Now, a lot of people get confused in regards to shipping to the Secretary of State or saying, hey, Tye, can I just walk into the Secretary of State? You can do both. It depends on if your state is open to do so, okay? So I'll give you an example. I have a client right now who's in Pennsylvania. I mean, not in Pennsylvania. He lives in New Jersey, but his birth certificate is in Pennsylvania. Now, you would think he would go to someone in Pennsylvania to help him. I'll pause there, but I'm not going to shed too much light on that. But he came to me. He's like, hey, Tye, I had an experience, Can you help me? I was like, yeah, sure. Now, mind you, PA, Harrisburg, which is where the Secretary of State is about almost 2 hours and 45 minutes away from me. So the question is, because I have a vital record, and because I said to him, hey, I can get this done in 2 or 3 days, technically, if I were to ship it, I wouldn't get it back in 2 to 3 days. So I now need to hire a carrier to be able to walk it in, wait, ship it back to me, okay? So you have 2 options. You have the ability to ship it in directly. You wait for it, however long it takes. They ship it back to you. You give it to your client. Or if you have a package or if you have a service that says, hey, yes, we can actually walk it into our Secretary of State, hire a carrier to do that. Now, obviously, you have to pay or whatever their fee is to do that. But that's an option too, okay? So I'm going to pause there. I'm going to give a shout out real quickly to Wendy, who's in PA, who's going to be doing my carrier for this vital record. Shout out to Faith in Missouri, who was my carrier. Shout out to Kendra in Florida, who was my carrier. The list goes on, right? So a part of the abnormal movement also is building a carrier list, a notary database, right? A lot of people charge for this, but I feel like if the state shows your notary commission for free, why can't I do the same thing? So that's the goal, right? So that's that. Any questions on apostilles? And I'm going fairly quickly because I don't want to lose people. SD says, hit like, everyone. Just a quick tap. Yeah, hit the like button if y'all so choose. Shantice, how are you, Queen? Thank you so much. Anissa, what site was that instead of HCCH? That was Google. Anissa, Google. Okay. That's apostilles, okay, for Hague countries. So again, I'm going to repeat it to you. Hope you have your pen and your paper, all right? Any document, whether it is a vital record or a public document, going to a Hague country goes directly to the Secretary of State, process done, okay? Now, when you're shipping into your Secretary of State and you're mailing your documents to them, people always ask me, hey, Ty, how am I going to get it back? Well, you have to put in a return label with an envelope in order for them to ship it back to you, okay? So when you're shipping it to the Secretary of State and you want them to ship it back to you, the to and from should be you, okay? Period. Sandra, I do apostilles in every state. I have done apostilles in Washington, California, Arizona, Virginia, now PA, New York, Texas, Florida. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Those are my hot states. Oh, and I've done one in Illinois. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Can we move on? Y'all better get this knowledge. I'm a true. So Linda Edwards. Sunshine, can you pop on Linda's Edwards message? She just posted at 12:27. Okay, so Linda Edwards was one of my students, still one of my students. She still calls me, texts me when she has questions, but at this point, she's doing her thing, right? So she has followed exactly everything that I've told her, and she's making mad money, right? Shout out to Tamika Merchant. She's also a student. She's making mad money, right? So if you follow what I tell you, you can make money as long as there is a market for it, okay? All right, can I move on? Can you please put a 1 in the chat, please? Can I move on? Put a 1 in the chat. All right, perfect. Okay, so go back to my screen. I'm gonna present again, perfection. All right. So real quickly, public documents, vital records, okay? When a customer comes to you and they have a public documents, I'm gonna run through this real fast, but you'll be able to go back through this and write all the things down, okay? So public documents, in my humble opinion, is anything that you can search online to find, okay? So your power of attorneys, wills and testaments, passports, driver's licenses are not government federal documents, okay? So those are all public. So any government issued ID is public. Vital records are public, okay? Powers of attorneys, like I said, wills and testaments, like I said. Corporation documents, right? If somebody wants to open up a company in India, they may need their articles of incorporation. They may need a lot of things. Actually, they do to open up a corporation in India, okay? Those are examples of public documents, all right? Now, regarding federal documents, right? Federal documents are considered at the highest level. So you never have to go to the Secretary of State to certify a federal document that is going to a Hague country. So this is the way I associate apostilles. When I say completion, when it's done, right? So any country that is part of the Hague Convention, where there's a federal document, public or vital record, if it's Hague, the only thing you're doing is apostilling the document and the process is done, period, okay? Now, examples of federal documents are FBI background checks, naturalization certificates, USPTO, FDA. The main ones that you're going to get are FBI background checks, naturalization certificates, okay? For federal documents, those are the ones that I have been able to handle, okay? Now, I'm going to shout out somebody real quickly, and hopefully she doesn't get mad because I don't remember her last name. Shamika. Shamika is in Texas, and she handles FBI background checks. So she's basically an FBI background channeler. And what that means is she has direct connection to obtain FBI background checks for her clients. She does the fingerprinting process. Now she's working with me one-on-one to include apostilles and making sure her overall pricing card fulfills now her whole title, her whole cycle, if you will. Okay. So her name is Shamika. If you're in the abnormal movement already, I'm going to put her information in our post. The reason why I'm mentioning her is because a lot of people will come to you and says, hey, I'm trying to move to, let's just say, Panama. And the embassy there is asking me that I need to get an FBI background check and da-da-da-da. Shamika's your girl, okay? So I would say connect with her because if you're not promoting or you're not doing marketing for FBI background checks, you can do that now, right? Now you have a source to be able to get that information. And she can get it done pretty quickly, okay? So that's for federal. Now, apostilles, now we're at the bottom of the hour. Apostilles for federal documents, okay? If you receive a federal document, whether it's an FBI background check, naturalization certificate, the list goes on, you do not go to your Secretary of State, as I mentioned. You go to Sterling, Virginia, okay? People will say, oh, it has to go to D.C. No, it goes to Sterling, Virginia. No, it has to go to D.C. No, it goes to Sterling, Virginia, okay? And I'm going to explain to you why. Sterling, Virginia, still to date, screens every single package for anthrax, okay? So the reason why it takes so long is because it has to go to Sterling, Virginia first, who then scans the document, and then they ship your document to DC to then be apostilled, okay? So see if I can find it because they have updated their website on here, and I haven't been on here in a minute. Okay, so the federal government still to date has no walk-ins, appointments, etc. Okay, this is their physical address if you were to be able to walk into DC. However, as I've stated, the mailing address is as such. Okay, that's where you go. That's where you mail it to, and it has to be exactly like this when you're mailing. Okay, so with that, we're going to go into the other piece for federal documents, and I'm moving, y'all, so y'all stick with me. Every single document that goes to Sterling, Virginia, when I say every single document that goes to the federal government, you have to fill out a DS-4194 form, okay? DS-4194 form, okay? They have recently updated this document, right? So I'm going to go through this real quickly. I'm telling y'all, I'm just moving. I'm moving. So this is the new document. This is the DS-4194 form, okay? This is what you call a macro. You can fill in the information and then you can print it out with the changes, okay? So I'm going to go over each section real quickly, and then we're going to pause, and then we're going to get into authentication, legalization, followed by business management, blah, 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 okay? DS-4194 form. This is the form that is required by Washington, D.C. to submit any type of document, be it public or federal document, be it Hague or non-Hague, okay? This document has to be filled out when you're sailing to Sterling, Virginia, okay? Section 1 is your customer contact information. That is not you, that is your client, okay? The email, the cell phone should not be yours, it should be theirs, okay? This is all of their information here. This date of birth, I thought it said date of birth. The date, obviously, whatever date you do it for, etc. Okay? Now, and this is the juju being for you as well, which is on their website. So for the federal government, when you're shipping to them, you only can use UPS, okay? FedEx, they charge a fee. So they don't want you using as a return label. You can ship it there as FedEx, but the return label has to be UPS, or they'll ship it USPS. So just make sure when you're shipping to them, you use UPS, okay? Section 2 is the delivery method. This is for it to come back to you, okay? So as I said, it'll be self-addressed here, UPS, and then your tracking number for the return, okay? Are you submitting and retrieving information on behalf of your client or individual? You say yes. You put now your information. It clearly says carrier representative here, okay? This is your information, your company, your phone number. If you have an extension, cool. If not, don't worry about it, okay? Now, section 4 is where you will complete the document request, okay? So for country of use, All right. Let's just say, and this is all in alphabetical order. Let's just say Bolivia. I don't know if they are or not. Document type. Okay. Let's just say it's an agreement. Number of documents is 1. Now, a lot of people get confused because they believe pages equals documents. It does not. If you have an operating agreement that has 30 pages, that's still considered 1 document. Okay. So if they have an agreement, if they have, oh, you can't do the spelling. That sucks. Let's say they have articles of incorporation. Okay. That's 1. The processing fee now used to be $8. It is now $20. Okay. You total it up. What do you have? Total number of documents. Now it's what? $40. Okay. All of your payments have to be money orders. Okay. Money orders. Now, I've had questions in regards to that says, hey, Tye, what if I have a husband and a wife and they both have an FBI background check? Can I use the same form? The answer is no. Okay. However, if the husband and wife both had 3 documents each, those 3 documents per client would go on the form. Okay. So one husband would have 3, which will equal up to 60. Then you'll have another DS-4194 form for the wife. That's another. So total of $120. Okay. Now, when I was doing it, I separated my money orders. You technically don't have to do that because you're sending it all in. But when I was doing it the first time, I was scared as hell. So I was just like very meticulous in what I was doing. But you can put the money order and have one cost. Okay. Yes, it was just updated. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm going to stop there. Does anybody have any questions at this time? And Sunshine, you can come up if you want. It's up to you. Any questions before I go to authentication and legalization? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. And then we're gonna pause and I'm gonna come back, okay? Authentication. And then I'm gonna rewind and tell you why someone would need it, et cetera, et cetera. I forgot to do all that. Authentication, okay? So some people use interchangeably authentication, legalization. They are 2 separate things. I don't care what nobody tells you, it is incorrect, okay? Authentication, certification, authentication, legalization, okay? I'm going to go through it. This is the non-Hague process, okay? Non-Hague basically means if the country is not listed, for the exception of Egypt, if the country is not listed, then that means they are part of the Hague Convention. However, I would always implore you to go to Google and verify it, okay? Triple verify it. Now, you can always call up your Secretary of State and say, hey, I have a document going to XYZ. Is it part of the Hague? Okay. The Secretary of States, in essence, are what they call competent authorities, right? They have the ability to issue the apostilles on behalf of the embassies. Okay. So if you don't know, call them. I'm going to derail for a second. Become very good friends with the Secretary of State. And the reason why I say that is because if you go into the Secretary of State and you know what you're doing, you'll get things done quickly. I'm just saying. All right. They will help you. They will answer the questions for you, because at the end of the day, they don't have time to be trying to figure out this, and that, and the other. They're just going to tell you what you need to do and keep it moving. Okay. So for non-Hague process, okay, and I'm going to use this example for public documents, vital records. If the country is part of the is not part of the Hague Convention, they still have to go to the Secretary of State to be certified. Okay. Do I have an example? I could have sworn I took a picture. Hang on, y'all. I thought I had a picture that I took of. I had a certification letter somewhere. But I had a certification letter from the state of Florida. Shout out again to Kendra that helped me to take the document to Florida State Secretary of State. They gave me a certification letter, right? The certification letter basically is stating, hey, the certification of the statistics vital register of the vital record is valid, blah, 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 right? So it's one document. They attach it to the, for this example, the power of attorney, okay? So I'm gonna repeat it again. Non-Hague documents that are public or vital records have to go to the Secretary of State first. They will attach a certification letter on top of that document, okay? Now, after you get that document, from the Secretary of State, and I'm missing some steps in here, but I don't want to confuse you too much. After you take the document from the Secretary of State, you then have to go where? To Sterling, Virginia, to authenticate the document, okay? So authentication means what? Because it's going to DC or Virginia, you have to fill out the DS-4194 form. So think about this from a perspective of paperwork, right? And what I said, why people shouldn't get into this industry, okay? All of this paperwork you have to manage, okay? You have to have a system in place in order to know what you're doing for what customer and when, okay? So after you have the document from the Secretary of State, you then go fill out the DS-4194 form. You take that order form with your certificate, with your power of attorney, you send it in. They do what they do. They send it back to you, okay? The process is still not done because now the document has to be legalized in said country, okay? Embassy or consulate. Now, a lot of people teach you, and I'm going to go off my screen real quick. A lot of people will teach you, I don't think I was showing my screen. A lot of people will teach you after you get the document from the DC, now you have to figure out how to go to the embassy and consulate. I'm going to tell you right now, do not do that, okay? The reason why I say don't do that is because you have to reach out to the embassy, the consulate, find their email, find their phone number, figure out what their process is in order to submit that all of those documents to the embassy so they can legalize it for your client. Then they have to send it back to you. Nobody got time for that. Okay. So my process is after I get it from DC, I tell the client, hey, your document is now ready to be used in said country once that country legalizes your document, period. I no longer deal with the legalization of documents. I just don't. Okay. So if somebody ever comes to you and says, hey, Tye, what's the process of going to Taiwan? Okay. Taiwan is not a part of the Hague Convention. I would tell them we would need, depending on the document, we need to take it to the Secretary of State. We need to certify it. And then we have to send it to DC so they can authenticate it. So then that document can be used in Taiwan for whatever purpose that you need. Okay. Okay, Tye, no problem. That sounds great. Done. Okay. Customers don't know what they don't know except what you tell them, right? But as I always say, you have to be the business acumen of your profession. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so that's it for section 1. Does anybody have any questions? We're at 12:43. Does anybody have any questions? And do you feel like this information is good? Please drop it in the chat. You know, you talk a lot. Delays. All good. Star says all good at 12:38. Is there a delay, Sunshine, in the comments? Tamara says, love it. Love the info. All good. Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. We're going to meet one day, SD. All good. All good. Perfect. Camilla says, this is great info, Tye. Thank you so much. All right. All good. Okay. Good info. No questions. Perfect. Let's move on. I'm going to show you my screen again. We're at 12:45. Anissa says, always good information. Thank you so much, Queen. Okay. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to go back for a second and I'm going to show my screen, make sure I'm sharing. Entire screen. Yes, share. All right. So we just went over the apostille process, okay? High level. Now, one thing I forgot to interject. This is another juju bean for you. There are certain states that require for you to get county clerk certification, okay? County clerk certification basically means that you are not able to go directly to your Secretary of State to obtain an apostille until your county in which you were commissioned certifies that you are in good standing, okay? Now, some counties may charge you a fee or whatever. Whatever they charge you, you pay. You take that certification letter and you have to then take it with your order form and your document and submit it to the Secretary of State for certification or for an apostille, okay? If you go out of order, meaning you try to go get your apostille before you are certified by your county, it will be rejected, okay? The other thing I forgot to tell you about apostilles is translations, okay? Translations is huge. I do translations as well. I utilize a company That is amazing. I'll be dropping that into the Abnormal Movement for people to get that. It is an affiliate link, but they're amazing. They get things done, and Tamika Merchant gave it to me. They get things done in like 24, 48 hours. Their quotes are in less than 5 minutes. So translations, it is not required, okay, unless your state specifies it, which they shouldn't. You don't have to translate your document going to the Secretary of State for Hague countries, okay? So if a customer comes to you and says, hey, my document is in Russian, right? But it's going to India, which is Hague. They'll say, hey, do I have to get it translated? Your answer would be, no, you don't, unless whoever told you to obtain it requires it, right? You put it back on the client. You take on no headaches from them because they're coming to you. However, they're coming to you also because you're a convenience and they don't know what they're doing, okay? So translations are not required if they're going to the Secretary of State to be apostilled. However, comma, if it goes to the federal government, be it for non-Hague, okay? Whether it is a vital record, public record, or federal document, going to DC always requires translation. So make that a part of your package or part of your rating cards, which are pricing, to include translations for documents that come to you that are going to the federal government, right? So not to confuse it, let's just take that all out. Anything going to DC has to be translated, period, okay? That's that. Business management overview, okay? Business management overview. Now I'm just going to read this real quickly and I'm going to go over it, okay? Business management overview. It says your vision. Why do you want to get into this industry outside of making money? Do you understand cradle to grave when the phone rings to the time that you hand the document back to your client? What does that look like? Do you have systems to record, track customer refunds, disclaimers, and policies? And do you have a follow-up and review me process? Okay, so I'm going to go over this. Your vision, okay? Like I said, there's a lot of coaches out here that are teaching apostilles, and I have seen and I've heard, and I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of it is kind of iffy. However, if you feel that you have a kindred spirit with that coach, just make sure they're providing the right information, right? Make sure that they're just not taking your money just to take your money, but they're actually going to be there to answer the phone when you call, right? So your vision is this. Why do I want to get into this industry? If you have a coach that's doing it, you could be like, hey, Ty, so what's up? Is apostilles like really, really good for me? Da, 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 da. I'm gonna go back to kind of like loan signing, right? When people got in loan signing, everybody was teaching it. But what people fail to remember is you're in a specific state. What applies to you in that state may not apply to me in my state, right? What could be a surplus of money coming in for apostilles may not be the same in Alabama, right? Alabama may be huge for Ron. So when you're going through this process and you're trying to figure out if apostilles is for you, you need to make sure there's a market for it. Just because somebody is saying, oh, here's the new fad that's up, right? Let's get into that, right? You have to make sure you have a vision of why you want to get into it. Just like being a notary, we're notarizing signatures, right? We are attesting to what they're saying is in the document, et cetera, okay? But when you're dealing with apostilles, you're dealing with birth certificates, social security cards, you're dealing with people's livelihood. They are entrusting you to make sure that you know what you're doing to fulfill what they need to be done in said international country. So you need to have a vision of why you want to get into it, right? This also kind of goes into building your website, understanding your vision, your mission statement, your core values. All of those things play a part in your vision, right? Just because you want to make money, you can make money, but if the money stopped coming, you're going to be pissed because you're like, but hang on, somebody told me this was da-da-da-da-da-da, right? When you become a business owner or entrepreneur, it doesn't stop after you get one client. How can you keep getting those clients consistently, right? And that's what I teach. That's what I have taught, and people have been successful. Okay, so do you understand cradle to grave? Okay, this is a corporate terminology. I'm sure Sunshine has heard of this. Cradle to grave, and all those have done corporate America. Cradle to grave basically means, hey, so when a customer calls me, what is my process from the time that they call me to the time I meet them, get my money, place the order, send it to the Secretary of State or Sterling, Virginia, get it back, give it to the clients, do a review, follow up. Do you understand that process, right? So a lot of people will get into it and they'll be like, oh my God, I got my first apostille. And I think that's freaking dope. However, how did that come about? How did that customer find you? Did they Google a certain word? Did you do keyword research, right? So understanding the process is important. And I can't explain that enough because a lot of people don't understand the process, or they complicate the process. And it's really not that difficult. I think sometimes when you get customers, they confuse you, and what you thought you knew, you don't. So then you question what you thought you know, if that makes sense. Do you have systems to record, track customer refunds, disclaimers, and policies? I'm going to show you my Square dashboard. Okay. A lot of people don't do this. They don't show you your money, their money, how much they make. I really don't care. Right. How can I put this? God has been grateful to me. God has been grateful to me. I've been grateful. Is that the right word? God has been grateful. God has been grateful. He's been merciful. He's been all of the things. Right. And for me, how can I put this? It takes a lot to do this business. And the reason why it takes a lot is because I'm currently dealing with 20 clients right now, right? 5 of those clients are in Sterling, Virginia. They have been there since the beginning of January, right? So for me, when I'm creating my systems, when I'm creating the things that I need in order to manage my customers, you have to have a system in place. There's a lot of CRMs, which are customer relationship management databases. But for me, I found that because I have ADD, too much, which is kind of oxymoron, too much becomes overwhelming for me. So what I've done, I've just went to Excel, right? Because I'm not really trying to pay money for certain things. So you can create a system to house your clients in an Excel document, or you can use ClickUp, or you can use HubSpot, right? Honeybook. There's various platforms that you can use to store your client information. Okay. So that's the first thing. When you get clients, you need to have a system in place in order to capture their information. High level, first name, last name, email, text, the format that they want to receive updates. Okay. That's the pretty much core information. The country of intent. Okay. The type of document. These are the column headers that you would need, honestly, just to build out a simplistic system to record your clients. Okay. Tracking, that goes into the same thing with your system setup. Okay. When you're tracking, you want to make sure the document, if you're mailing your documents to Sterling or to your Secretary of State, you want to be able to track your documents, right? Do you have the ability to track them? I have 20 freaking clients, right? So I'm literally every day clicking and looking at tracking numbers and making sure things got to where they got to and all the things, right? So you have to be able to do that. Goes back to why you shouldn't get into this business unless you have a strategy in place. Next thing is customer refunds. I had to give a customer $350 back because the documents got lost. Okay. Gone. Gone. It was an FBI background check. It was a vital birth. It was a vital record. And I think it was a power of attorney. Gone. Okay. So to save face, I gave her entire money back. Okay. So I lost money. That goes into your disclaimers and your policies. After that happened, I put in a disclaimer that basically says, hey, if the third-party carrier, UPS, DHL, USPS, FedEx, loses your package, we are not at fault. However, we will refund you less money, government fees, and my time. Okay? So what does that look like? Do you have a policy and disclaimer in place to refund people their money if something happens, right? The lifeline of your company is based upon reviews, okay? If you don't have a review system in place, there's really no reason why you're in business, right? You can go through Google right now and search something and look to see if people have reviews. Some people will say, oh, if they have 5 stars, did they do something shady? No, that just means they're a really good company, right? Some people may see it as false. Some people may say, oh, damn, I want to go to them because it seems like they know what they're doing, right? So the systems in place, tracking your customer refunds, disclaimers, and policies, all of these things will be in the Mighty family, will be in the Abnormal movement, right? I have new disclaimers. It's all new from the previous things that you guys have already purchased before. I feel like if you're a coach, you shouldn't keep the same things out. You should keep evolving. So as you get business comes in that is like, oh crap, I need to institute this into my business model, you should then feed that back to the people so they're aware as well, right? So all of these are going to be new. The review, show you something real quickly. This is my company. Excuse me. This is my company, IHT Mobile Notary and Apostilles Services. Okay. When you're doing a review, you should have a review on your text, in your email, somewhere. I would not wait a week to obtain a review. I have even done reviews right there and then. I literally say, hey, Tom, so while I'm doing this, do you mind leaving me a review? Sure enough, by the time I'm completed, I'm getting a message from Google saying he left a review. Okay. So you need to have a review strategy. So to obtain your reviews, which one am I in? Oh, you know what? Let me go to the other one. I apologize, y'all. My bad. Let me go to this one. Is this the right one? I don't want to do that. Y'all bear with me. Okay, so this is my company. So if you're within your own state and you've looked up your company name, this is what you're going to see. Okay. So as you can see, I have 77 Google reviews from clients. If you click on these reviews, I think I just got 2, I think, newest. Yeah. So 2 people just responded to these people. So this is a guy, Anton, who I'm still working with. He has an FBI background check that is currently in DC. It's going to be a very long time. So if you have FBI background checks that are going to DC, it's the turnaround time right now. They're talking about April or May. Okay. But like I said, I want to get with Shamika to see if there's something else that time frame can be reduced. So here's all the reviews, right? And one thing I want to tell you about your review strategy, if you don't have one, a lot of people say keyword stuffing is cheating. However, with the algorithm with Google, there's certain keywords that you can put into your comments organically. Okay. So as you can see here, we appreciate you entrusting us to complete your apostille and translations, right? And then you become personable, because once people see all of this, they're going to be like, oh, dang, let me, and I've literally had clients. Hey, I would like to talk to Tye. Is Tye available? This is she. Hi, right? So remember that when you're doing your reviews, respond back. Don't get too personal, obviously, but high level. What did you do for them? Okay, general notary work. Oh, okay, that type of thing. Broad. Also, with your reviews, if you get a repeat client, do not have them leave a review on your Google listing again, because Google will not show it because they've already left a review. Have them go to Facebook. Okay. If you don't know how to link your Facebook to your Google listing, get into the movement, pay the fee. We got you. Okay. So copy this, put it on your text messages, your email, whatever, because right after you leave that client, you should be sending them a review. Now, not to derail, not every client is a client that you should be sending your review to. I'm just saying, you could have the best type of dialogue. Everything went well. And then when you show up, something happens. I pick and choose who I send my review to. I'm just saying. Other people have 200, 300, that type of thing. I pick and choose the clients that I want to leave a review, because I know the amount of work that I put in and the relationship that I built, that review is going to be stupid, meaning good. Okay. So my Facebook, link your Facebook to your Google listing for repeat clients. Okay. They can go on and leave a review. Okay. On your feed. The other thing that I want to tell you as well for your Facebook, if you have a business page, if you don't have a business page, you need to get one. Okay. Because Facebook, Instagram, they all talk to each other. Okay. Real quickly, let me change my profile. If I can find the pages, y'all. Okay. Here we go. So this is my page here. Okay. So this is my Facebook business page. I have a total of 9 reviews. Now, some of them I think is spam or whatever. But what I want to explain to you is Facebook will not display your reviews if you have less than 5. Okay. So you could go on here and be like, oh my God, I got 2 reviews. Why is it not displaying? Because Facebook's not going to show any reviews until you get to 5. Okay. Let me go back. I hope this is good information. Okay. So business management overview. So for this section alone, you need to understand what your vision is, meaning if apostilles is something that you want to do, cool. I would also say make sure that you have friends in other states that will be able to assist you for documents that may require an expedient turnaround time, right? If you don't need an expedient turnaround time, meaning you need a carrier to help you, then you can mail it, okay? You won't need anybody in that specific state if it's not required, okay? The cradle to grave, that's all about process flows, understanding from the perspective of a buyer persona. Buyer persona, I've had loads of them, from people that call me 24/7, emailing me, to people that have paid me an upwards of $3,000 and I don't hear crickets from them, right? So I have learned the cheaper price that you give a client, the more headache that you're going to get. Just saying, in my experience, okay? So make sure that you price accordingly. All right, that goes into money management, but I'm going to pause there to make sure that y'all are good. Is this good information? Are these things that people are talking to you about? All right, it is 1 p.m. We have 1 more hour. Put in the chat if this is great information. I see from T Signs. Camilla says carrier notary databases will be key for this work. Absolutely. Jacqueline, how are you, Queen? Minka, absolutely good information. Perfection. Okay, do me a favor. I'm going to change the number this time. Put a number 2 in the chat if I can move on to money management. And this is the part that I think people are going to get upset about, for the simple fact that nobody really talks about pricing. I do. And I'm going to show you my dashboard. I forgot about that. Put a 2 in the chat if we are ready to move on. Perfection. Okay, so I'm going to show you my dashboard. Okay, my dashboard. Okay, y'all should be able to see my screen. Put in the chat that y'all can see my screen. Y'all should be able to. Just say yes, if you don't mind. Kirsten, you had to be the oddball and put a 1, huh? I got to shout you out in a second. Put in 1 in the chat if you can see the screen, please. Yes, perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so this is my square dashboard, okay? Now, a lot of people are probably going to trip out and be like, oh my God, Ty, you're showing people your business. For me, I'm going to pause. For me, this kind of goes into why people shouldn't get into apostilles. I don't care if it's Burger King, and I've said this to multiple people, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Whataburger, which has amazing tacos, by the way, Jack in the Box. It doesn't matter who you go to, as long as they are transparent in what they are showing you, okay, and teaching you, okay? For me, I don't have a problem to show my business because that's the only way that you guys are going to truly see the good and the bad. Everybody shows you the good, but they don't show you the process to get to what you see on social media or what you see through all the other things, right? And as y'all know, I've always struggled with doing this, but you know, if God tells you to do something, he will beat you with it until it's, yeah. So I'm here. Okay. So pricing, you are looking at my dashboard. Okay. For the month of January, I made a total of $4,174 in apostilles. And this month alone, for general notary work only, not attached to apostilles, I had a total of 5 clients. Okay. So out of 27 transactions, which is 27 clients that gave me their money, 5 of those was general notary work, right? The other 22 were apostilles with general notary work. Or it was just a vital record or an FBI background check that needed to be sent off, okay? Now, if you remember, I told you that I had to refund money. I was not lying, okay? I refunded $413.63. The average sale of the customers that come to me, that's your price, okay? Some people say, but Ty, how do I know how to price and all the things? You price based upon who's around you. You price based upon what everybody else is doing, right? You don't want to go so high where you don't have room for growth for your price increases. If you go all the way to the top and say, oh, it's going to be $300 for one document, I'm not going to come to you. Like, for what, right? So you want to be attractive in regards to your pricing that you give to your clients. We offer a white glove service, right? White glove service means that you can text me, call me. I'm going to send you an email update. I'm going to show you all the things, right? That's our white glove services, where other people are just like, hey, this is the cost. What's up? Leave it or don't. Me, I've learned that people love transparency. People love the ability to feel like they are a join to something, right? Or join to something. So this is for the month of January. Now let me show you the month of February. As you can see, all of my numbers gone down. I only had 15 transactions. Yes, there's still 4 or 5 days left in the month, but this is how much that I've done for this month. That's almost a little bit over half, right, of what I did compared to the previous month. My average sales for this month is 176, but that's where I'm finding that customers are liking that price, right? So when you go to pricing, I'm gonna give it to you right now. I'm gonna come out the screen. One thing I want to tell you too, if you have Square and you use Square like I do and all of the money and all the things that God has blessed me to make, you have the ability to take out loans. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to show you all my business. Square actually will give you a loan. They will start out very, very low, depending on how many sales you have, right? I had a loan here. My loan was given to me. This is not an exaggeration. My loan was given to me at the end of January. I paid off that loan in less than a week. Okay. So Square has the ability to give you loans based upon the transactions and the frequencies and all the things. So keep that in mind if you ever want a business loan. And no, I don't have business credit. And no, I don't have a Duns and Bradstreet, whatever. Okay. However, I did change my number in order to do that. So that's Square. Okay. So your pricing is this. Okay. I can't tell you your pricing because I don't know who's around you. Right. But I tell people you can start at 150, but if your apostille is only $2, you got to make sure that other $148 is going to account for the price that you're charging them, right? The state of New Jersey is $40. If you go online, there's a $2.50 convenience fee that they charge on top of that, right? So I'm already in the hole. So if I charge $150 and I ship UPS, let's just say $25, the amount of money I'm going to make is about $85, $85, $75, something like that, right? That's my net. However, you have business expenses, right? A lot of people be like, oh, you can make $200. That's how much you're going to make. Lies, right? Your cell phone, if you have a brick and mortar, okay? Electricity, car, gas, all of those things play a part in that $200. So you're not technically walking home with $200. So when people say you don't become profitable truly to like your 5th year, that's true, right? So for me, for money management, I have multiple accounts, right? I tithe like it ain't nobody's business because God, I mean, I can go on and on, probably go into tears. I'm not going to do it because we're not the Abnormal Notary anymore. We are, but we're not. Anyway, God has been good, right? So for me, it's always important to know what you're charging to your clients. You don't want to be so astronomically high that there's no competition because nobody's coming to you, right? So I'm gonna do it like this. How do we want to do this, Ty? Think. Y'all know I think off the cuff, so I'm just thinking right now. And we're at 109. $2 in Tennessee. Okay. I'm gonna do an exercise real quick because I like doing this kind of stuff on the fly. Okay, so let's do a pricing analysis real quickly. Okay. Okay. Pricing analysis. Okay. So let's take the Tennessee situation. Okay. Now, if you remember, as a part of your process, whether it's Hague or non-Hague, you still have to get your county clerk certification, right? If it's required. SOS, apostille. As you can see, it's the first one. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna scroll down. I'm just looking very quickly. So you guys actually have a form. Texas has a form too. I think it's like 2105, 2104, something like that. Okay. So for you guys, as someone said in the chat, it is $2. Okay. So if you take the apostille price, which is just to order, an apostille is just an order form, y'all. An order form in order for the Secretary of State to give you an apostille certificate. Okay. So your apostille request is $2. Okay. I'm not sure if you can walk it into Tennessee or not. I don't know. Let's just say you can. Okay. So you can walk it in. Okay. So now you don't have any transportation costs, right? Because, well, you do because you drove there, but I'm just saying, not transportation, shipping. Sorry, y'all. Shipping costs, right? So shipping costs is zero, right? So let's just say I charge them $150. Your take home is what? Your take home is $148. So you just made $148. That is gross. Okay. Now, what about your cell phone? My cell phone is this, $215. So if you say this is gross, if I take my cell phone and I take what I made off of this request, I'm in the hole, right? So think about it from a perspective of money management. When you're doing your pricing and you have your accounts broken out, that's what I was going to say. You have accounts broken out. You have your ties. For me, I have my ties. I have my operating expenses. I have my income account, and I have my carrier account. Okay. So when I get money after I have done the transaction, I put money in my ties, my operating expense account, my income account, and my carrier account, if it's applicable, right? The percentages that I do for all of these accounts, and this is what it looks like. And the reason why I do this, and I'll explain that to you in just a second. I call it OPEX. If you're in corporate America, you know what that is. Okay. So OPEX, ties, carrier. My income account is just where all the money goes. Okay. I forgot one, taxes. Okay. So for money management, which is what I'm teaching myself right now, I'm putting 30% of this cost. I'm pointing at the screen now, y'all can see me. 30% of $148 is going to go into my Apex. 10% for ties. Carrier, that's just, I put like 5% so I can just keep building when I do need a carrier. But typically when I'm pricing, I make sure that I put the carrier price inside the overall price to the client. My income is where all my money goes, so then I can distribute it accordingly. And then my taxes, I do 15%, right? So my goal is every year, I'm going to be filing my taxes every 3 months because I don't want to wait to the end of the year. Then it's just chaos for me. Okay. So that's money management. So don't believe when somebody says, oh my God, yo, you can make $500. Yeah, you can make $500, but that's not what you're going to be taking home after all of your expenses, period. I don't care what nobody says. Okay. So being profitable is about understanding the strategy and the vision for your business, right? So you can say, hey, I want to make $150 off of every transaction. Well, if you live in the state of Tennessee, that's going to be fairly easy. But is somebody in the state of Tennessee going to pay you $150 for a $2 apostille? Okay. Customers are getting more intelligent. They're becoming smarter. They're understanding that they can actually go to the Secretary of State themselves and they don't need your help. The difference between you and everybody else is why they want to come to you. They come to you for a convenience. A lot of people say, but Tye, what if you give them too much information? They're not going to want to come to you. Load the crap out of them so they can come to you. Duh, right? You give them so much information, they're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, Tye, can you help me, please? Sure. It's going to be $150, right? The other thing with money management, just like with anything that you do in life, I call it A/B testing, right? You test one theory. If it works, keep it going. If you see that, oh my God, I'm getting influx and you want to raise your price, increment by $5 or $10. Don't go up to $100. That's just stupid, right? $5 to $10. Now, if you see that you're charging $150, decrement, go down in your price and see what you get, right? The market will tell you what it should be. That's money management, okay? So I don't care what all these other coaches are saying out here, no shade or nothing like that. But let's keep it 100 with the people that we are teaching, right? Show them the good and the bad. Don't just show them, oh, you can make this amount of money, but hang on, Tye, it's not really that much money because you have a business and you have to make sure your business stays afloat. These are the costs that goes with it, right? So I say that to say to coaches, just be transparent. Answer your phone when people call you. You didn't get to where you were without the assistance of the people that you are teaching, okay? So I'll leave it at that. Moving on. We have any questions so far? We at 1:15. We have 45 minutes left. Any questions before we go into the next section, which is branding and marketing? That's our last section. Any questions? And I'll wait. While we're doing that, I'm going to pop some stuff on the screen. Sunshine, can you come on the screen, please?
Yes.
How are you doing? Are you nervous?
I'm good. Yes, of course. But hi, everybody. But we did have a question. I had someone ask, well, how do we join the movement?
Oh. So the movement, the Abnormal Movement is a one-time fee. It is a lifetime access. For me, the Abnormal Movement is something that you're not going to get in and we're going to tell you to go to a file section, or you're going to get in and try to go find a lot of stuff. I have learned from the Abnormal Notary to now being a coach is when you throw a lot of information at people, they get confused and then they don't know which way to go, right? So for me, there's going to be a roadmap when you get into the Abnormal Movement, meaning by month 12, you should have sustainable, strategic processes in place to attain what you want specifically for your business, right? So the Abnormal Movement is a one lifetime fee of $97. It was $47, but my time is valued, right? The information that I share is important. And I think that if you want the juju beans and you want to be a part of something, then you'll pay the fee. If you don't, that's okay too. And I still appreciate y'all being here. But at the end of the day, listen, ain't nobody doing what I'm doing. I'm just saying. So you can get in, and I hope I see y'all on the inside, the mighty family. We don't play around. We don't deal with bullies. We don't deal with negative energy. We are faith-based. I mean, we're not like, Jesus and God and all the things, even though I do believe. But we're faith. We're spirit-driven, right? So it's important that when you get in, you introduce yourself, say who you are. Because if you don't say who you are, you don't fill out your profile, we can't build a freaking notary database. So all of you guys that are in the mighty family currently, I need y'all to go in. I'm going to show y'all the mighty family, the community here in a second. To go in and fill out your profile. Okay. So the mighty movement or the Abnormal Movement to get in lifetime access is $97. You pay that one time, everything that's in the community, you get to keep. I don't care what it is, videos, we'll do monthly videos. Y'all be able to call me, text me, right? I was just about to be a douchebag. I'm not going to do it, Sunshine, right?
No.
We are shedding our old me. Yes.
I have another question.
Let's do it.
So I'll show it to you.
Thank you.
So do you have any legal protection for your business and services? And if so, who? And thanks.
Cassandra, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. Do you have legal protections? Yes. The one legal protection is your LLC. They call it the corporate veil, right? So that in itself is protection from your personal assets, your personal liabilities, not your assets. Assets are good. Well, all of it. Your assets, okay? In regards to who do I use, Third Eye, okay? They are Berkshire Hathaway company, and as y'all know, Berkshire Hathaway is expensive. I said Third Eye. Anissa, I gave Anissa the one, but I don't remember who it was. I think it's Third something. Yeah. Okay, so 3 Insurance. This is who I use, okay? So you can use them. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. I did have a person that we were using at the time, but he left the company. So you just have to call this number, okay? So LLC and then this. Now, I'm going to throw a wrench in here real quickly for you. Nobody talks about cybersecurity, okay? Nobody talks about cybersecurity. The reason why they don't talk about cybersecurity is because nobody really knows what it is. Cybersecurity could mean something as simple as a customer will and I'm telling you right now, customers will text you their vital records. Customers will text you their social security numbers, right? The cell phone, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but your cell phone carrier, they have all kinds of policies and procedures and all those types of things. This is why you need disclaimers and policies about your cell phone usage when they send documents, okay? 3 Insurance Hathaway has cybersecurity, but I'm not for sure how that goes into their whole umbrella of a policy, but I would look into them, okay? The other thing is your errors and omissions. Errors and omissions is something that everybody should have as a notary anyway, but it's only for your notarial acts, right? If you lose somebody's document, your E&O is not gonna cover that, right? If you, I don't know, whatever it is that you do that's not related to a notarial act is not going to be covered, period. Okay. So you need to have that umbrella on top of an umbrella because you're dealing with people's stuff. Okay. So LLC, and then find another umbrella on top of that. Okay, so there's multiple layers that they have to pierce to get to you. Sunshine, any other questions? Okay, let me drop the link. Actually, let me show y'all. Let me show y'all before we get into branding and marketing real quick, because I'm gonna shout out somebody that's been helping me. Okay, let me share my screen. What time are we at? 1:20. Okay. So this is the Abnormal Movement. I'm also going to show you, once you log in or once you get the link, what it will look like. But this is inside of the Abnormal Movement. Okay. I had a bunch of stuff in here, but I went and I cleaned it out. So when you get this link, and I'll put this in the chat. When you get this link, you can go on your desktop, you can go on to your Android or your iPhone. For whatever reason, iPhone charges an additional $2. So you would be paying $99. Okay. So once you come in on your desktop, this is what you'll see. Okay. These are what we call circles. All of these circles I will be in and teaching. My goal in the near future is to get other coaches to come in to be able to teach a plethora of things. Okay. But not everybody, you know, I'm about to be a douchebag again. I'm not going to do it. So whatever coaches that want to come in, that wants to help and teach, that have the same like mind as the community, they will be in to teach. Okay. So the Abnormal Movement, these are your circles. So once you pay the $97 or $99 if you use your iPhone to do it, you'll get access to all of these circles. Okay. The Abnormal Branding and Marketing is what we're going to go into. The Digital Minimalist, I got this from Candace Willie, who is one of the people that I'm coaching to be a coach. Spiritual Elevation, which is what we talked about. This is more so for if you're having a bad day, you just want to just offload it somewhere. That's the Spiritual Elevation. You'll see me in there, not as Coach Tye, but just Tye, and you may get some crazy stuff. So be prepared for that. And then the Abnormal Movement Elevated, that is the general area of where everyone will be. To be or not to be an apostille provider, this is where I'm going to be a lot. Also in abnormal branding. So for me, this is going to be huge because I will be having either weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly meetings in regards to apostilles. Because I feel like there's a lot, like I said, a lot of people are doing this, but they're not me. Shit. Excuse my language. I'm trying to do better. They're not me. And hopefully they don't come off the wrong way. So that's that. Okay. Your host or your moderators is Anissa, Kirsten, Tamika. Okay. If you guys get into the movement and you say, hey, I want to be a part of something greater than just being a community member, come holler at us. Okay. The other thing that I want to tell you is Miss Kirsten Bly. She is my graphics designer. This lady is crazy good. She didn't know that she actually had the ability to do graphics and designing and all the things. So I've opened up another avenue for her to create logos, to create websites. We've done a couple of people already, and it's gone well. So this is the Abnormal Movement. This is the mission, walk your divine assignment. I feel like everybody has a calling. Whether or not you walk in it, that's really your choice. But that's it. That's the Abnormal Movement. Okay. The other thing I want to tell you too, when you join, don't expect to be going through a plethora of information to search, because that's not what I'm doing. Right. In a week or two, I'm going to have another meeting, but it's going to be within the Abnormal Movement. And then from there, I'm going to give you the vision of what we're going to be doing. And what does that look like? That looks like a dadgum roadmap. Okay, a roadmap every month of what we're going to be doing. Now, the goal is for me is I hope that you guys get in and you have specific questions that we then can turn into teaching opportunities, right? There's a lot of people charging a surplus of money because of their name or whatever the case may be. I am who I am, right? I think money is intangible. It comes and it goes, but the legacy that you leave on someone stays forever, okay? So that's my philosophy on it. Okay. I think that's it for that. Anissa, I know you always have to. Love you. You can't see my screen. You should see my screen now. I see it. Okay. Is this a new platform? Yes. So Mighty Networks is nothing like Facebook, is nothing like any of the other communities. This is separate, right? So this is an actual community called the Mighty Networks. Okay, so I'll show you real quick. I'm still sharing. Okay, so Mighty Networks is a platform. So if you guys want to go out there and search it and all the things, there's other people that have created Mighty Network communities. So you can go through there and search and join other people. This has nothing to do with the notary streets. As y'all know, I don't really like attaching myself to the notary streets because I'm just who I am. But this has nothing to do with notary. So you just go in there and join. Okay. Okay. So I've put in the link in the chat. So if you guys want to join, you're more than welcome. Okay. Let's get into branding and marketing because we're about to be to the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour. Okay. So branding and marketing. Does your community know who you are? Do you know what competition is around? I put in here GMB everywhere. I'm going to go over that real quickly. Do you understand keyword research? I'm going to show you a screen. It's probably going to be very overwhelming, but this is what I'm teaching and how my students that have followed me and done what I've done are successful. And do you have a branding board? Okay. Do you have a vision as mentioned above? And do you have a strategy? Okay. So let's talk about branding and marketing. Branding and marketing. Okay. And a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. A lot of people as a mobile notary, okay, as a mobile notary tend to put their face as their logo. Okay. Now, the social that I was at, shout out to Norm, Wed by Norm, Norm by Wed. He's also a carrier for me, by the way, who lives in Trenton. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say, y'all. My brain is starting to shut down. Branding and marketing. Okay. So if people don't know who you are, they're not going to be able to understand your business. By putting your face as your logo, you're the CEO of your company. It's kind of like Nike or Puma or Reebok, right? You don't see the CEO's face on the logo. You see their logo, right? For me, I don't show my face. Y'all see my logo, right? If you have a website, you should have a section about the CEO, right? Or about us. When you're branding, you don't want to put your face. So all of you notaries, and I know you probably get some shade for this, but it is what it is. All you notaries that have your face as your logo for your company, you need to remove it. And shout out to Kirsten to help you with the logo or go make a logo for your company. Okay. Now, derail. If you are a wedding officiant, your face is everything, right? So, okay. But in hindsight, I still think you should have a logo, whether you're a wedding officiant or not. Okay. Because your company, your brand is what you want people to remember, right? When you go on TV and you see a Nike commercial, you don't even have to see the actual symbol. You can see the shoes or whatever. You know that it's assimilated or it's a company to Nike. Okay. So branding comes down to understanding, again, your vision. What do you want your customers to see when they see your brand on a billboard, when they see your brand on a flyer? Okay. I know that my logo, that's Tye's company, right? So make sure when you're doing your branding, you understand the vision that you're trying to promote and understanding that it can change over time. My logo has changed multiple times, right? Why I also call the abnormal movement is because movement is ever changing, right? It's always elevating. It's always pushing. There's no end to a movement. It is a collective, right? So you have to understand that nothing's going to be perfect the first time because it's a journey. It's life. You're never going to get to the finish end until it's time that God calls you home, right? And hopefully by then you've done what you were supposed to do in the legacy of your life. Okay. So branding is important. Let me show you real quickly. I keep going back to sharing the screen. Let me go back to this. And if you guys don't have this installed on your computer, I implore you to do it because this is one of the things that we will be going over in the abnormal movement. Thinking. I just lost it back quickly. You know what? Hang on, y'all. 1 second. See if I can put it this way. On here. Okay, so there it is. Okay. So GMB everywhere. Okay. GMB everywhere. If you guys remember, and the things I kept talking about, which is who's your competition, who's around you, how you know what to price, et cetera, et cetera. GMB everywhere is a Chrome extension that you can add onto your Google website to be able to see what your competition is doing, be it posting, their websites, their reviews. You can see all of those things. I'm going to show you another website as well as far as SEO, that type of thing. So GMB everywhere. If you went to your Google extension and you just look for GMB everywhere, okay? There it is. You install it. You put it into your thing up here, okay? Go onto YouTube, research the company, GMB everywhere. Okay. I'm not going to go too much into it, but research the company. Okay. When you're looking at these items, specifically teleport, okay? Teleport basically says, if my company resided right here and I moved my company over here to the Costco wholesale, is my business still going to thrive or is it going to go down? Okay, that's teleporting. To understand if your business will be successful if you move into a different section. Now, keep in mind, Google's radius, I think, is like 2 hours, I believe, around the point of where you confirmed your listing with Google. So when you go into this company, right? I've already done my audits, but when you go into this, it'll actually show you all of the information about that company, their website, their posting behavior, URL links that they're using, blogs that they're posting, right? And you can say, but Tye, why do I care about all this? You want to understand what your competition is doing and why they're doing better than you. You can't understand what they're doing unless you do your market research, right? This is why I taught the inner circle for 6 months, right? Your target market, your target audience is different, okay? People always say, but Tye, my phone is dead. It's not ringing. Okay, but are you doing anything to understand why it's not ringing, right? Like this week, this whole month has been kind of slow, but I don't market for nothing. You can go on Instagram right now and look up IHC Apostille. There's no postings, right? I don't have any postings. All of my customers come from my Google listing. I don't do anything, right? So just imagine if I start doing my marketing, which I am, I start blogging, which I will do more of, the increase and the traffic will increase, right? Now, I may get some shade for this and I may get some hate for this, but it is what it is. I'm always going to keep it transparent with you. Somebody told me, or somebody mentioned to me, that there's something going on where they're going to teach you how to be in 4th, 5th, and 6th place on your Google listing. I'm going to tell you right now, you have to do absolutely nothing to be in 4th, 5th, or 6th place because Google sees you not doing nothing. Okay. So if you want to be in those positions, just don't do nothing, period. Right now, if you want to be in the top 3, then you want to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do with your business. Okay. Let me go back to this. So Google My Business Everywhere is important to understand who's around you. Okay. Your competition will use certain keywords. What they call in the SEO industry is what they call keyword difficulty, right? Keyword difficulty basically means how difficult is this word? If I were to create content around apostilles, the likelihood that Google will take my blog, post it so somebody can see it. Okay. So I'm gonna show my screen again because I think I stopped sharing. This is the last one and we're about to get up out of here shortly. Okay. Okay, so this is keysearch.co. Okay. This is kind of similar to SEMrush. This is kind of similar to Ahref. Okay, these are what they call SEO companies that have the ability to go out to certain websites, pull data based upon keywords that you search. Okay. Now, what I mentioned before, hey, why does somebody want to get an apostille? Why would they want to come to you? People come to you to obtain an apostille to get married, to educate others in a different country, to start a corporation, to obtain inheritance or to remove inheritance, to be able to drive. There's a plethora of reasons why someone would come to you. Now, if they're coming to you, how can you get them to continually come to you? Okay. So there's a couple of tricks that I do, and all of these different websites that I've mentioned, they cost, right? Obviously. But I'm gonna give you a trick on not to spend money. But you guys should know this if you guys pay attention, which I'm sure you do. Okay. So I put in, I've been playing around with this, so I don't have any more credits, but I put in the word apostille. Okay. Over here, it shows all of the different types of searches that people have done on apostilles. Okay. Now, when I said keyword difficulty, that means the higher the score, the likelihood of you ranking, if you were to create a blog post about apostilles, will probably be very, very low. Okay. However, if you see this volume right here, that means that's 116. What is that? Don't get me lying. I can't even say this number right now. 165,000. Okay. That's how many people search for this word. However, if you scroll down and you see apostille near me, that's 3,600 3,600 searches for that word. However, the keyword's still high, right? If I go down to, I don't know what FCO legalization is. Let's use Hague Apostille. This is 43. When you're doing your keyword research, right, you want to have the numbers lower with the volume higher. Or if the volume is like 4,400 and your keyword difficulty is like 30, I would say go for that word. All right. Now I'm going kind of deep, I think, and hopefully I'm not, but you have short tail keywords and you have long tail keywords. Okay. I would always steer you away from short tail keywords. Short tail keywords could be notary near me. That's a short tail keyword, which means that's going to rank everywhere in the United States. Okay. But if you put notary near me in Somerset, New Jersey, that is a long tail keyword. And the likelihood for you to rank for that long tail keyword will most likely be higher. Does that make sense what I'm saying to y'all? Put a 1 in the chat if it makes sense. If I'm going too high. And there's a delay over here, y'all, so I apologize. Makes sense. Perfect. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you something else. Okay. Now, what I want y'all to do at some point, even if you're a Ron or a loan signing agent or whatever it is, okay, look for a couple of things. In the abnormal movement, my family, they already know about some of this stuff, right? So, notary near me. What if I don't want to pay SEMrush? What if I don't want to pay keysearch.co to find and help me do keywords? When you look at this number right here, that is the rendering of Google displaying the results based upon this word. You have this many people that search for this word. It was rendered in 49 seconds. But if I put notary near me in Somerset, New Jersey, look at that. That's a lot. That's over 1 million, right? Versus, you see? So it went higher, but when I put in Somerset, New Jersey, the amount went lower, right? So long tail keywords is where you want to be at, okay? So the cheap way to do it is go to people who ask. These are actual people asking questions. I'm about to give you another juju bean. These are people that are asking questions in regards to this topic. So now you have content to create. Where can I get where can I get notarized for free? Well, it ain't going to be nowhere, not in New Jersey, right? Unless it's a friend or a family, which I don't think you really should do that. But yeah, but most people think that, you know, Notary Public, we do it for free. But I think every state law, there is a fee for something, right? It's $2.50 here in New Jersey. How much is a Notary Public, right? That could be a topic, a blog. Hey, to have a service with IHT Mobile Notary, we have blah, 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 all of these services. And the price is, however, right, you can write content about that, right? These are all things that you can look at. Also down here, related searches. This is, again, people searching for you, okay? Now, another website is called Answer the Public. You guys should know this one. Answer the Public is also a good one for marketing, right? This is all going to marketing. Branding is just getting your company out there and people understanding who you are, your vision, the mission, all those things. Marketing comes down to marketing research, target market, okay? So, Apostille. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to find all kinds of information relating to Apostille near me. Okay. And what this does is going to go and search the World Wide Web to find out what people are actually looking for as far as searching for Apostille near me. Okay. So here you go. 45 questions that people have asked concerning Apostille near me. Where to get an apostille? I'm seeing my head going like this. Apostille near me. What apostille stamp? And this is literally, as you can see, this company is literally taking verbatim what the customers are putting in. So think about that from a keyword search perspective when you're creating content. The system, they give you everything you need. You just have to be able to have a strategy to push it to fruition or bring it to fruition. Okay. So Answer the Public. It's free. Go out here. You can also do remote. Let's do remote online I hate remote notarization. Oh my God. Notarization. Yeah, because I'm already out of my stuff. Okay. Anyway, play around with it. I had a brain fart. Play around with Answer the Public. You can do the Google piece of it as well. But that's pretty much it, y'all, right? Without going too much into detail as far as what I'm going to be doing in the movement. That's pretty much it. Okay. Here, credit unions, if you're a member. Okay. So Steph says credit unions, you can do it for free, which I think you can. I think every bank you can do it for free if you're a customer of them. So I retract what I said. Okay. Sunshine. What do you guys think? We are 20 minutes to the top of the hour. Give me some feedback in the chat because we're going to get up out of here. Sunshine.
Yes.
This is your first time doing this.
Yes.
How was your experience?
Great.
Great.
Mm-hmm. You had a lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
Yes. People felt it was. So someone said Tye goes above and beyond.
Where is it?
All the
put on the screen, Sunshine.
Put it up there. Oh, I like reading too.
No, read it. You can read it.
It's so JC said Tye goes above and beyond all things that one must do to run a successful business, period.
I appreciate you. That's Linda. Shout out to Linda. She's part of the Mighty family.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
And I do have a question. So let me just show that.
Yes.
So now this is going back. So will the courier and notary database be within the Mighty network?
Yes. But I'm also going to put it on my website as well.
Okay.
Which Kirsten, shout out to Kirsten. I forgot to do that. I think I already did that. Kirsten has been building my website. So if you guys want to go to the website, I don't think I'm sharing anymore, but it's called theabnormalmovement.com. You can join the Abnormal Movement through that link. So she has done amazing. So I appreciate that.
I have a Facebook question. So I signed up on Facebook, but did not receive the overview of your that you're showing on the screen. Why?
YouTube will, once this is done, it will be back up for you to review the whole session. However long it takes YouTube to do it. I don't think it takes long. I think once it ends, it's available, I think. What else?
Any other questions, anyone?
Let me go back. What about Alabama? Steph said, what about Alabama? I'm going back through these comments, y'all. Give me a second.
Yeah.
And Sunshine, if you have anything else. So I'm glad that you guys came on a Saturday. I am back, but not to the capacity that I was before. I've opened up another company, which is the Abnormal Movement, because it's really going to be something that I'm really going to be invested in. I don't think that it takes a surplus of money to be able to teach people what they need. You just need to have the right tools to be able to do that. So that's why I don't charge that much, but I am charging more than I normally do. So get in if you so choose. If you want to think about it, that's okay too. The $97 will never change. I'm never going up in my prices. So that's just what it is. Okay. Sandra, Coach Tye, how long on average does an apostille Hague country take to complete cradle? Sorry, Sunshine. You were supposed to read that.
No, go ahead.
Take to complete cradle to grave. Okay. Good question. It depends on your Secretary of State. Okay. And it also depends on the federal government. So as you know, you can go to your Secretary of State for public and vital records. You have to go to the federal government, which is Sterling, Virginia, for, did I say federal government? Federal government? My bad. My brain is shutting down. For Hague, it depends on the Secretary of State. However, if you're going to the federal government for Hague for FBI background checks, when I called them last week, they were just getting to request from January 26th, and it is now February 26th or February 25th. So the duration for Sterling, Virginia, you're looking at about 8 to 20 weeks. The Secretary of State, you just have to go into your website to figure out what that is.
Okay. Here's another one.
Okay. Tye, how do you find your contacts for carriers? Okay. I got you. So the previous question, as far as the cradle to grave, on average, for customers that are not a pain in my butt, 5 business days, give or take. Sometimes I can get them done in 24 hours, depending if they want to pay me that extra money. So between 24 hours and 5 days. For FBI background checks, I'm going to tell you right now, This is the reason why you need systems in place, which is probably what coaches don't tell you. You need to have systems in place because you can forget about them dadgum documents. And it's 3 months later, your customer hasn't reached out to you because they're depending on you for you to make sure their documents are good. So yeah, it's a process. Okay. It's a process. Tye, how do you find your contacts for carriers? The Mighty Family, which is why y'all should get in it. Just saying. The Mighty Family, the Abnormal Movement, which is why I tell people to fill out their profiles, because I'm going to be going through people's profiles and reaching out to people. I will have help hopefully in the near future. So pretty much it's just word of mouth, right? So I gave you a carrier for Texas. That is, you know what? No, Texas is Austin Passport. But there's another lady in Texas as well. But Austin Passport is huge for Texas. You have Kendra, who's in Florida. She is a carrier in Florida. If you want her information, holler at me. Wendy, that's who I was talking about. Is Wendy? No, Wendy's in Pennsylvania. Wendy's in Pennsylvania, who's helping me for my vital record. I have Faith Evans. Last name is Evans? I think it is, like the singer. Faith in Missouri. Okay. So Harry Otto in New York, but the man does charge. So be prepared. But he's in New York. So it's all about networking, right? It's all about understanding who's your carrier. Now, this is what I will tell you. I would only hire, in my humble opinion, I would only hire carriers that are notaries, right? And the reason why I say that is because their commission is their lifeline. Okay, that's just my opinion. What site was it? What site was that instead of HCCH? Travel.state.gov or Google is your friend? Google the country. Just do India. Is India a part of Hague Convention? That's it. Is Taiwan a part of the Hague Convention? It is not. Okay.
Okay.
Anissa is also a part of the leadership team. I forgot to tell you that. She is the counselor. So every person that becomes a part of the leadership team, they will get a t-shirt, right? I am called the brilliant mind. Kirsten is called the architect. Anissa is called the counselor. And Tamika, I haven't talked to her in a while, but she is the minister. Okay. And Miss Valerie Samuels is the producer. All right. Any other questions? I'm glad y'all love the t-shirt. I will be doing swag soon. So I appreciate y'all acknowledging that. All right. Branding and marketing. Love the shirts. Love the shirt. Love the shirt. Thank y'all so much. Tabitha, how's your baby? All right. So we moved to Juju Beans. We are 10 minutes, almost to the hour. Still scrolling through real quickly. Bonus Juju Beans. Okay. So the first one is this. Whenever you get a vital record, that's birth in the marriage of life, birth, marriage, divorce, death. Those are 4. Okay. Birth, marriage, divorce, death. 4. Okay. For vital records for the state of Virginia, your vital record has to be within 12 months. And if it's 13 months over, it will be rejected. Okay. For the state of Pennsylvania, you need a county clerk certification before you go to the state, unless it's a vital record. New York, you have to have authentication. You have to go to Manhattan to get authentications for every single document. What else? Portugal. If you get a client in Portugal, your vital records can only be 6 months old. Okay. Now you can say, Tye, how do I know what it's supposed to be? Sometimes your Secretary of State knows, sometimes they don't. But this is what I would tell you. To save face, have vital records that are issued within 12 months. If you can get it down to 3 months, I would do that. Okay. Now, if somebody says, hey, Tye, I don't know where to get my vital records from, I would not send them to their county or to their state. I would send them to Vital Check. Okay. Vital Check. VITALCHEK. Vital Check. Okay. Now here's a Juju bean for you. I deal with a lot of clients that are international. Okay. When you deal with clients international, you need a WhatsApp application. Okay. So if you don't have a WhatsApp business application, you need to get one. The other thing too is you could have people that, and I'll give you live example. And if I could show you his email, but for the secrecy of privacy, I'm not. But he is in Panama. Okay. He's needing to go take his information. I'm sorry. He's in Portugal. And he's trying to obtain dual citizenship. You would get those questions a lot. Dual citizenships. Okay. And these things that I'm telling you are things that you can build content off of. Everybody always says, Tye, how can I build content? I don't know what to build content off of. Did you just have a customer? Did they just call you? Did you just do general notary work? What kind of general notary work did you do? Estate planning? Okay, cool. Write content on estate planning, right? Write content on the customer interaction and build information off of that, right? Because Google now, or not Google, Google, Instagram, all of these different platforms, all these different mediums are now going into not necessarily SEO, but more of that intimate, knowledge-based, community-based information, right? So they don't want you trying to create content using freaking Chat GPT. For the record, I do not like. It is the fad right now, but there's been so many more AIs that's been out way before Chat GPT. I'm just saying. But using Chat GPT, right? That's okay. However, it still needs to be in line with your voice, right? Google can tell if you've used an AI to create content. So just make sure if you create content with one of these AIs that you go back in and you do what you need to do to make it yours. Okay. What's the other thing? So I was talking about the guy in the email. So he is in Portugal. Okay. So he was born in the United States. His parents never filed for him to obtain a social security card. So when you go onto Vital Check, it requires you to enter a social security number. Okay. I'll take you to Vital Check real quick. It requires you to put in your social security number. So because he didn't have a social security number, he's like, Tye, I really need to get this dual citizenship. What I got to do? I was like, listen, I don't know. Call them, see what they want you to do. So they literally had him fill out a utility bill and also his birth certificate, which he has, okay, which he was born in the United States. Sunshine, hang on. I need to be educated. Can you get a social security number without a birth certificate, or you need a birth certificate to get a social security number? Which one is it? You don't know, right?
No, I'm not sure, but I know I think social security numbers are given. Like I received mine. When I was 13, because I was about to start a job, like as a camp counselor. So I think social security, some people get them for their children when they're born, but I don't think it's done simultaneously. And I could be wrong. So someone else can probably chime in on that.
Okay. So however that process works, he didn't have a social security card. So he literally sent me his utility bill. Okay. His utility bill was in Portuguese. So I took it, translated it. I was like, we should be good to go after this. Sure enough, he sent in his birth certificate. He sent in the translated utility bill. He sent me the message from Vital Check that says it was approved. Now he is shipping me his vital record and his utility bill from Portugal to my corporate mailing address. Okay. I am going to charge him $375, $425, something like that. Okay. Because now I'm going to also have to ship it back to him. International shipping is huge, right? So if customers ask you, hey, do you ship internationally? Yeah, you do. You can either have that as a pass-through cost, or you can tack on and increase it. Okay. When I say pass-through cost, that means if FedEx says it's $150, you pass that directly to the client. Hey, it's $150. Or you can make a little bit of profit and say, okay, FedEx told me it's $150. Okay, Mr. Customer, it's going to be $185. Okay, so now you just made $35 doing nothing except just taking this document to the FedEx. Okay. She said you have to have the birth certificate to get a social security number. So perfect. Thank you, Sweet Notary Services. So his family never filed for him to get the social security number. So he had to go through this whole process. So I want you to understand there will be outliers, but typically the request that you get should be pretty standard. Okay. So what else? I'm thinking. I can't think of anything else right now. Oh, the other thing is too, y'all need to get, if you're going to get into apostilles, don't only just have a stamp, have an embosser. Okay. Have an embosser with a little pretty gold seal. Back when I first started, I was like, no, don't get an embosser. That's a lie. All of them want them to have. When you're going to these countries, they want that old school embosser. So you need an embosser with a stamp, and to make it pretty and official, get the little gold circle seal thing. Okay. I can't think of anything else, Sunshine. We are 6 minutes. I see questions. You want me to do it?
I can do it.
You want to do it? Okay.
I need practice.
Can you start at 142 or 142?
Okay, go up. Yeah, sure can.
And just go,
So at 1:42, we have, let's see. I
I
will be
was signing
signing.
up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can't wait. I just wanted to show that. I'm sorry.
I will be signing up when the class ends. Can't wait. I can't wait to see you in there.
Okay.
You doing it? This was very helpful. Always love your lives. Thank you so much.
I want you to see that.
Hi, what's the class about? I'm not sure. Clouds 2 for USA. I just came in late, didn't know about it. Okay, well, follow my social medias. So if you guys are not following me on my social medias, I have changed them from the Abnormal Notary to the Abnormal Movement. I always look backwards. Camera, right? The Abnormal Movement. Facebook, Instagram, go follow me. I will tell you, I'm not really big on social media and posting and all that kind of crap. So if I don't have nothing to say, you ain't gonna see me, right? However, if you're in the Mighty Network, you will see me all the time. Okay. And that's just what it is. There's too much. I'm not going to do it. I was about to be a douchebag. I was about to run down the lane and be a douche, but I'm not going to do it. We're shedding the old me. We're shedding the old me. All right. Informative as always. Thank you. Tony is a part of the Mighty family. So is Linda. This has been amazing information. Great juju beans. Thank you. You are very thorough and you teach in layman's terms, which is appreciated. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you, Minka. You always give such great information in a variety of areas. I try. What about doing Apostles in Illinois? Apostles in Chicago is huge, massive. Okay. So if I were to tell you what states to really focus on that I know that I get business, New York, which I would steer away from, it's freaking nuts there. New York, PA, Florida, Texas, Chicago, California, Arizona. Okay. This is the second time I've caught a live. The last one was an interview. I was late for this live, but you dropped some jewels. Thank you for everything you put into this live. You're very welcome. Are you going into more details and helping with SEO and keywords with the hell yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's people out there now that's teaching SEO, right? What are meta tags? What are descriptions? What are header 1s, header 2s, header 3s, right? To me, I'm not the type of person to shove all the stuff down your throat just to get information out or to say that I was the first one to get it out. That's just not my style, right? So for me, everything that we learn there will be systems to it. You're not just going to be thrown into a pool. Everybody's going to go together. Now, if you want to do separate calls or something like that with me, or you want to have a one-on-one with me for an hour or whatever, that's all a part of the fee. Okay. Nobody's doing that. Most people complain about the time that they waste. I'm just saying. Okay. Do you hear much about Michigan? Yes. Tamika Merchant is actually in Michigan and she is killing it. And she says she's overly busy. So Michigan is one of them. Thank you for reminding me. Why stay away from New York? Because New York is crazy. Every single document that you get for New York, you have to go to Manhattan to get it authenticated. And according to Harry Otto, your whole day is done because you're waiting in line, right? Because you can go into New York and get your apostilles, right? Also with New York, you need a letter of exemplification. If your documents are from one of the 5 boroughs, right? Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, I don't know all of them. Staten Island, right? Letter of exemplifications for vital records that are not issued by the state. And then you also have to get it authenticated because in New York, you have to get county clerk certified. So New York is a little bit difficult. So if you have friends in New York to help you, I would say do it. Otherwise, charge a surplus of money to do their apostilles. And Harry Otto charges a lot and he's busy. So hopefully that answers your questions. Jacqueline, is coaching extra or part of the Mighty Network's access? I do one-on-one coaching for $225. Like I said, I have 3 people now that I'm coaching. That's paid the money. It depends on what you mean coaching. If you want me to spend time with you, like my coaching one-on-one that I charge $225 for, you're with me for 45 days, right? If you just want a question or if it's something that you believe that everybody else would benefit from, then I'll have a Zoom, right? And then we'll go over and we'll teach it, right? Even though I don't talk about loan sign and I don't talk about Ron, I don't talk about permit runner, I don't talk about all these other things, I've done it all, right? I've just niched down. I'm not trying to have 10 and 15 different side hustles. I'm trying to build a corporation, right? Which is what y'all should be doing. That will never change. Stop chasing money. Figure out what you want to do and zone in on that, period, right? It's kind of like me. I'm kind of like an immediate gratification. If I don't get it right now, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? But with companies, it takes time, right? You're not really profitable your first, second, third, fourth month because for me, I'll speak for me, I reinvest my money and put it back in, right? I am living paycheck to paycheck because I'm not profitable yet. Money management is a thing, okay? If you don't know how to manage money, Apostilles it's gonna screw you up. I'm telling you, because you have fees here, shipping here, cost over here. You have to know what you're doing. Not to scare you, but that's the reason why people shouldn't get in it if you don't know what you're doing. Because people will sue the hell out of you. That I will tell you. Cheryl Henderson, yeah, she says, I'm happy to support in Maryland. Cheryl, get into my network. You already are, I think. I have to make you a carrier. Tye will pin the link to this video. Tye, will you pin the link to this video? I'm assuming the Mighty Networks. We're at the top of the hour, y'all, but y'all still here. I appreciate y'all. So I'm still here. I'll pin it again. Can I pin it? I think I put it in there. I just put it in the chat. It is a long one. So I don't know if you can click on it. But that's that. Okay. So this is the link. You can also go to theabnormalmovement.com, theabnormalmovement.com, and you can join there. That website has been done by Kirsten. And it is an ever-changing website. So, your opinions and all the things, if y'all know me, don't matter because it's a movement. We're going to keep moving, keep elevating. So the website will change over time. However, if you go to theabnormalmovement.com, you will be able to join through the Mighty Networks by clicking on Join the Movement. Okay. Texas. Tashana, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. Martin says, I'm in Florida. Steph says, don't do it. Let the old man go. Okay. Why I said bypass apostille? So you came in late. Why bypass apostille? 5 reasons. Money, marketing, coaching, strategy. If you don't have any of those, you need to bypass apostilles, right? Now, you can say, but Tye, how did you get into it? I had a little mini course that I took, right? Totally confused. But I saw that there was an opportunity there, right? So I took that opportunity and I taught myself. Did I fall and fail? Have I had rejections? Yes. But how can you elevate if you don't mess up? I would rather mess up early than mess up later. Okay. Linda, that's my people. She's doing amazing. She's a part of the Mighty family. What else? Who is trying to spread that foolishness? Boo bye. Exactly. Love the name. Exactly. Yes. Yes. You need a birth certificate to get a social security number. Thank you. You would think that since I'm American. You have to have a birth certificate. Thank you. Coach Tye, are there some state cities that charge $250 to $300? So when you're saying state cities, I wouldn't look at it from a perspective of state and cities. I would look at it from a perspective of what your competitors are charging, right? So let me show you guys real quick because we're over the hour, but 82 of y'all still here, so I appreciate you. So let me show you something real quickly, and I'll show you Vital Check because I said I was going to show you that, and I failed to remember that. So let me do Vital Check. Again, this will be back up on YouTube when it's done. This is Vital Check. Save it, pin mark it, bookmark it, okay? This site is recognized all 50 states, okay? Now, if your client says, oh, I wasn't able to get a divorce decree or it's not working, have them call. Their Vital Check customer service is awesome, okay? So you can get birth certificates, death certificates, marriage, divorce. All of your vital records you can get from here, okay? What I would highly suggest, and this is just my opinion, okay? The Secretary of State does not give a crap if you're taking that document and send it somewhere else. They just want to make sure that the notarial statement and signatures and all the things are correct, okay? So I would highly advise you to go get a birth certificate for yourself. See what the process is. Have them send it to you, and then you do an apostille. Is it going to go anywhere? No, but you're doing it so you can see what your Secretary of State process looks like, okay? So go to Vital Check, order your birth certificate. I think it's between 50 and 80 bucks, something like that. If you get into this business, you'll get it back your first client anyway, okay? Go out there, have it come to you, and then have it go to a hey country, okay? Have it go to I don't know, India, okay? And then get the apostille back. And then you'll see what the process actually looks like. Then from there, you incorporate, okay, when a customer calls me, I already know what my process is for the Secretary of State if I mail things to them, right? All right, what was the other thing? So vital check. Oh crap, I forgot, Sunshine. I don't remember what the other one. I forgot what the other one's going to say, y'all. Steph says New York is crazy. It is crazy. I did insurance claims. Exactly. They're nuts. That's what it was. Thank you. So some states and cities. Okay. So if I were to Google, okay, you don't want to base upon cities and states. You want to base upon if there's a need. Okay. So market research is basically saying, hey, who in my same industry is doing what I am doing? Okay. The way that you would do that, just do apostilles. Okay. And in your state, look up apostilles, see what companies come up. Okay. Right. These are all companies, international apostilles. Your Department of States and all those people, they have authority on the web. So it's going to be hard to rank on the first page, but you can do it, but it will take time, right? Another company. These are other companies. As you can see, I'm here. Number one, American Apostilles, okay? Most people don't have their pricing on their pages, but I'm going to tell you something that I did. I called these suckers. I'd call them suckers, but I called these people and I basically played like I was a customer and I wanted to see what their process was, right? And then that's how I determined my price. So in the state of New Jersey, you can get away with charging $250, $300. In the state of Tennessee, for one document, you ain't gonna get that, right? Now you have, I will tell you, these customers outside of the country of India, okay, these customers will pay whatever the hell is needed for their convenience, okay? Like I said, my most money that I've ever made was like $3,500, right, off of one customer, but she had 28 documents, okay? So hopefully that answers your question. I'm gonna go probably about 5 more minutes, y'all. I would implore you to get into the movement so you can ask me all these questions. You can call me. I give up my cell phone number, all the things. And I'm not one of these coaches that you call and don't answer the phone. I'm just saying. I had to put that out there. Sorry. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Thanks. I might try looking her up in Michigan. You should. Tamika Merchant is her name. She knows what she's doing. I taught her. She's learned from other people. She's put things together. And she's doing very, very well. I really want to get into apostilles. And yes, I agree. I definitely have to have those 5 things done or down before starting. Yes, absolutely. Having your infrastructure, having your branding, like people, like when I was in the notary, I'm going to derail for a second. When I was in the notary streets, right? It was crazy. You thought it was a pandemic in the notary streets, right? Everybody was trying to jump in. Oh my God, I got to get this out. I got to get this out. While I'm over here trying to get my life, right? Trying to stay afloat, and serious prayer, right? That's where I've been. So for me, it's never about trying to get to the market sooner than everybody else. Your information just has to be something that people want. You have to solve a problem. You don't start a company just because. You start a company because you want to solve a problem. All right. And if you don't have a vision to solve their problem, then you need to reevaluate why you're getting into business or becoming an entrepreneur before you do anything. That's my thoughts on it. Mariama, Twinkie, get in. You won't regret it. Yeah, I've been with the Inner Circle for 6 months. We started in October. One of the ladies, Tabitha Russell, who's sick. I love her so much, which is Twinkie's cousin. Sick. I think the first month after she did exactly what I did, her phone started ringing, right? People get upset because they believe when they pay somebody a certain amount of money that the return on their investment is going to be immediate, but it's not going to be immediate if you don't do nothing, right? Just because you sign up and you pay $500, $800, whatever the hell people are charging these days, it's still up to you to make the effort to do what you need to do to make the money, okay? Okay, good idea. I really want to, okay, so that one, I love it. Think outside the box, always. I always do. Tye is always available. Tabitha, that's what I was talking about. Yes, I'm always available. So when you become a part of the abnormal movement, I'm not like these other coaches you call and you still waiting, okay? I have students today that have reached out to certain people and they still are waiting. So I think for me, if you're going to be a coach, I'm just going to do it real quickly. If you're going to be a coach, be responsible, right? Answer the phone, because if these, now I'm getting pissed. If these students are coming to you and they have clients on the line, money on the line, and you say, hey, I have an open door. This goes for any coach. Hey, I have an open door. And they call you and you don't call them back. They just lost that client. So why promote your services if you're not going to be available? Be available. Period. It's that simple. She's the best mentor. Christina, I haven't seen you in forever. I hope all is well. I did change my number, Queen, so I apologize. She's the best mentor, hands down. Thank you so much. Chris Douglas, this was great. Thank you. You are very welcome. And Jacqueline, love you so much. Faith without work equals broke. Put it on a t-shirt. Okay, we're at 2:10. Thank y'all so much. Please make sure that you get in to the movement. I will just on Instagram just be promoting at this point. The movement, promoting all the things. If there's another event that comes up that I do a YouTube on, obviously you'll see that. But other than that, y'all, I'm going to be in the Abnormal movement, which is why y'all really haven't seen me, because I've been focusing on my community, right? I've never been one to advertise and promote. That's just not my style, because that's just not how God made me. So I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for staying here. All 76 of y'all. I don't know how many we had gotten, but I love y'all so much, truly. It is because of you I am here. It is because of God I am here. So I am humbled and grateful to each and every single one of you. And to those of you that have allowed me to teach you, thank you. All right. I think we're out of here, y'all. Let's see. Let's get some more on here and we'll be out of here. You're so right. That's what sets you apart. Thank you so much. Thank you for being great as usual. Thank you so much, Tabitha. For the record, the inner circle that is on this platform, I will be calling you because unfortunately our call tomorrow is canceled. I have a birthday celebration to do. So I'll be calling y'all. Okay. Christina, I lost what would have been my highest paying client because a teacher was not available like she claimed she would be. That's 3 and counting, just to let you know. That's 3 and counting, Christina. American River Notary, great advice. Order BC through Vital Check, process an apostille for yourself. You will be an expert and be able to guide your customer through the process. Invest in yourself. Yes. Okay. LaShonda, you're welcome. Tony, you're welcome. Just going back through here, y'all. I just want to get everybody's stuff on here. I don't want to leave anybody out. Tanya, LaShonda, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you in the community. Thank you so much. All right. All right. That's it, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Love y'all so much. Have an amazing Saturday. Sunshine, please come back on and do your salutations or your exit salutations. I hope to see you guys in the Abnormal movement. More things are coming. And once you get into the movement, direct message me. Leave your number. I'll call you. I'll introduce myself. We talk, we vibe. And that's it. All right. SD, I love you so much. I can't wait to finally meet you one day. Okay. Love you. You're awesome. Have an amazing rest of your day. You too, Minka.
Yeah.
All right. Sunshine.
And thank you everyone for coming. And if you need to reach out to Tye, use the links. If you have a number, just be mindful of time. And she appreciates you. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of the movement as well. So thank you everyone, and have a blessed Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And Friday.
Love y'all. Have a good one.
Bye everyone.